Traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. Welcome back, welcome back. Uh, I'm gonna skip most of the formalities here and I'm gonna jump straight into it. Today was not my best trading day. I'm a little disappointed, especially in the earlier half of the session in ticker symbol TRNR. My performance was absolutely atrocious. I could have done better. And I did hear some traders say they had trouble with the spreads. The issue that I had today was an issue that I know all too well, which is me missing a portion of the move and becoming way too timid, and even to a degree creating a bit of a bias. Missing the first move up here. Just for some context, this thing absolutely did well into the open. Pre-market, decent move, going from about 3 up to 5, pulled back, coming into the open around 450 area. A bit of a red to green coming in, and I missed the initial red to green. I missed the initial push all the way into the halt up. And I did this thing to myself, which was pretty unfair, which was, hey, it'll probably need to pull back after resumption. I don't want to be ultra aggressive. I want to take it easy. And you know what? Sometimes you got to stay reactive. In fact, you got to always stay reactive because the market can be irrational. It can be irrationally weak, it can be irrationally strong. And if a trade is going against me, I don't need to have a bias of, hey, it's going to bounce, but it's still going against me. And likewise to the upside, if a stock is going higher and higher and entries are presenting itself over and over, I need to take those trades up until it's not working, up until that first loss, that first haircut, that small haircut, rather than to being behind on the 8 ball and missing all the opportunities, letting them fly by like a deadline. That's what happened to me today. I missed the initial red to green. I tried to wield my way through the resumption, had a green trade immediately, then red trade. But from there, I started to hesitate, started to second guess, started to think, man, this thing needs to pull back. And the moment I did not go long for the first entry, the moment I didn't go long for the first entry I saw after this, green candle here, that was the moment that I essentially kind of, lost out on the opportunities for the day, right? And so I gotta stay locked in, man. I gotta keep watching for the opportunities and be reactive. Just be reactive. So what happened to me? I missed one of the opportunities in there, and then it felt like, man, oh, I can't buy this next trade because I should have already been in. And then you miss that second trade, and it compounds, it snowballs. Before you know it, there's frustration because you could have been in some key areas you're not. And so that was one of the main things that got me, right? Other than that, I got to make sure to keep my eyes on the price, keep my eyes on the level 2, and not be so fixated on trying to adjust share size. It seems like the DAS trader connection is still having some issues, so I do have to be a little bit more patient there until I can see some better hotkeys again. But even still, with what I have now, I need to pay attention to the level 2 in all the key areas, not worry about being so aggressive with size, because it's not going to do me any good if I have size, but I'm out of rhythm, out of sync with the entries, right? So, until I can set up my DAS platform, that's one of the adjustments that I have to make. And so another thing is even when I miss a trade, due to whether it's for any reasons actually, right? Whether it's opportunity cost, it's just anything, right? Whether it was hesitation, it could be anything. If I miss a trade, I gotta continue this to look for the next, entry. I gotta keep looking for the next entry, and that's one of the key things that obstructed me today from going forward. A lot of head shaking and smiling. For those of you on the live stream, you might be thinking, why the heck is he doing this? And that's just me. That's frustration. That's me just in my head thinking over and over, calling myself names for missing the moves, but not focusing on what's happening. And then that even leading to more snowballing. So, there's this thing where you can't be perfect. And you got to be willing to quickly accept a loss and move forward with a clear mind. So, on stock TRNR, ticker symbol TRNR, We could have definitely done a lot better. Being red on this thing 1100 was just not the way to go. So, pattern wise, we had the halt. Well, actually, we had the red to green initially, right? The first 1 minute candle to make a new high over 446, pushed up, got to 450, and then 540. And then we dipped down to 5 and then ripped up to 597 for a halt up. When I pulled it up, it was at 535, 545 area. And it was incredibly difficult to get an entry that high up. So after the resumption, my first trade was actually pretty decent. But I think after the loss came, I needed to be more attentive, right? So sometimes, sometimes there's false breakouts and you got to watch to get back in. We ended up having a low of 597 and a high of 746, right? My first trade came around 620, selling about 660. Great first trade, smaller size, 1500. From there, it pushed up closer to 7, rejected the level, and I think I got caught trying to buy the breakthrough 7 up around 680. But from there, again, gotta be paying attention to my level 2. That's one of the areas where I went to reduce my share size and ended up missing a trade. But anyhow, so we did get to 782. From there, we pulled back to a low of 685. And then I got some higher fills here, man. I got some higher fills. I believe at 42. I'm not sure if I attempted this dip right here. But let's just double check at 942 if I did attempt that dip. Let's see. So we came down a little bit. So we took a loss up top. It came down to 7 initially. Looks like we might have caught a small dip here. Let's see, in at 01 out at 18, in at 19 out at 16. Well, we're not getting the entire picture from the chart here, from the log. But this dip, and what's really tricky about these entries sometimes is that it's our first red candle at the time after, what was this? A 73% move. And the pullback happens to be, hold on, let's get this in line. The pullback here was about, what, 16%, 15%, 13%. So it's sometimes very difficult to identify this pullback. But, besides that, we started to see higher lows. The 1 minute candle did attempt to make the new high. It happened to be a false breakout, so we didn't continue here with a big green candle. Instead, we pulled back some more. We had a low of 653 and then a low of 627. This is at 45. So at 45, between 44 and 49, we were not aggressive. So we kind of let it pull back, which initially was good, but there was an opportunity. And, I can't remember what I did, but the seconds, as I'm telling you guys, the seconds really matter. I did something in this area here involving looking away from my level 2 again. Remember, everything comes down to the milliseconds, and there can be key moments where you cannot have your eyes off the price. So it's nobody's fault but my own, right? From 27, we moved up, and it came back down to 35. I remember this vividly. I can show this area here on the level 2. All right. What time of day is it? 9:46. Look at what happened at 9:46, right? See, there's a difference between if I put out an entry. There's a difference between if I put out an entry and I put out no entry at all, right? So right here, we're going to price in the low. Right there, we priced in the low. And it came down aggressively, right? 31, 20, 27 happened to be the low. Watch, it got to 70 on the ask. 30, it's going to come back down to 31, 37 range on the bids. And I did not attempt to go long. And I wasn't sure what the ask price was, like in terms of me trying to remember. But what I do remember again was me taking my eyes off the level 2. And by the time I look back, the stock is at like 650. So watch right here. It's going to come down again. Here we go. Again, that low was 27. Right here to 30. Right in that area right there. Right in that area right there, man. What's what the man? Yeah, I'm gonna go mad. Did you guys see what my mouse cursor just did right there? See, this is the thing. This is the thing that I talk about being focused. The stock is in a key area. Why the hell am I messing with this order entry over here on a stock that is not even in play? This stuff makes me want to go mad watching back this thing, man. So now between 36 and 40 area where I could have been looking to get in, or placing, like, it's very different if I try to place a limit order, if I try to go market in, whatever, and but to move my mouse cursor, do that nonsense, because now what I know is that 27 is the low. The closer I'm into that level for now, if that is the bottom, is the better it is. I'm not in, and look at what's going on right here. Even if I bought, because this is, it's in realm to the 5 minute setup. Even if I bought down here and I'm in 45, 50, and I give this thing a chance, just 10 seconds later, we're up here at 70, 77. I can sell half easily here. And there's 689, 690. Just like that. It's a nice, sweet trade rather than not being in at all, right? So, it might sound pretty silly saying it like, hey, you look away at some key areas, but really makes a difference when those levels are the levels where you need to be paying attention to be in the trade. There is going to be downtime, right? But you can't confuse downtime for, you know, oh, what's the phrase? Passive. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the right word. It's not coming to mind. But you guys get what I'm trying to say, right? We got to be in standby, right? Standby mode rather than downtime. It's a difference. Being in standby versus downtime. So TRNR ended up being a great stock. We did have some trouble up here at 850. And I did think to myself, this could be the backside, right? The daily resistance was up at 850. We had a couple of candlesticks against this level with some topping wicks. But it was being resilient. We did hold up a couple times. We were on this uptrend. But right here where we wanted to, see another retest, we didn't quite get it. And it came down. And that was it. From here, that was pretty much it. The other stock that did help me to recover a little bit was MBIO. This one, cheaper stock. I mean, it really did well today. It really did well. 500% coming from 12 cents up to almost $1. And it might be in play tomorrow because it's still alive. But earlier, it started off slow, selling off from about 41 down to 28. And then around 10:45, it really broke out. Strong candle from there. We had a flag, a wedge. It went higher. Let's say a wedge. It was a bit longer. Let's call it a wedge. And even a bit of a flat top here. Once it got over this level, it really pushed up nicely, hitting a high of 51. But from there, we did see a bit of a sell-off. So for me, I was scalping the lows of the candlesticks. Also was trying to watch for breakouts, but I felt like the dip trades worked out a little bit better for me today. I did give back a lot because I was up 1200, 1300 like 4 times. I'd go to 1200, back to 900. Go to 1200, back to 900. Like 3 or 4 times. So you're just in that range of churning. But anyhow, it pulled back. I mean, really, right here, I thought it was backside. But, coming over this pre-market high, right here, it did its thing, right? We had a bit of a bear flag. But coming over this pre-market high, it did its thing and it started to uptrend again. Right here, a nice good move. The flag did not quite hold up as well as we would have loved to right here. We would have loved for this to hold up a little bit better and then continue higher. But, it came down. We had a good bottoming wick candle. So candlesticks like this is where I was able to make money. As this thing is coming down and starting to base, being in, selling on the move up. But I definitely could have held longer in some trades. But you know what? Once you're up 1, 2 cents on a stock like this, 10,000 shares, that's a nice $100. And so for me, it's like, hey, can I ranks and repeat 5,000 shares, 10,000 share blocks? I think I went up to 20,000 just once. Didn't get super aggressive with size. But from there, I think I traded like 1.5 million shares, which I guess is a lot, but it's not a lot at the same time for what I know I could do. Like, you know, even what I saw some of our peers doing, even some of the students also, right? You know, if you want to be aggressive, this thing traded over 1 billion shares today, right? If you want to be aggressive, you can, especially if you're holding a little longer. But once we zoom out a little bit, you'll see it at around, 2 p.m. is where it really took off. Bit of a false breakout here with this red candle, but kept going. I stopped trading it around 65 cents. Or I think right here actually. I stopped trading it right here. I just felt like the breakouts weren't clean enough um at that time because the range felt limited. We had bigger green candles earlier, like this, that were really good. But as it kept going, it became more of a grind. And as you guys know, commissions, and again, I was, 1,200 in gains to 900 in gains. So I'm like, okay, after a point, like the commissions is adding up because this is a cheaper stock. We're taking so many shares, right? Usually on average, I'm trading like 300K shares on a stock at $5 max. We're here at like 1.5 million shares. It's like, okay, I'm gonna stop. But so I didn't trade this move here, but it seems like it's much of the same, a bit of a grind. Only better if you're in and just holding a little longer. Could you have made money scalping it? Yes, but the range is super limited. But from there, here we are after hours. So we ended the day from red 1400 to red 470. Good damage control, but all in all, for us, if we traded the other stock really well, we're probably already up 1.5, maybe 2, and we're adding another 900, to finish the day around 3K, right? Is where I think the potential on this day was for me. Maybe more. I mean, to be honest, if, and we don't really, the word if is kind of big, but depending on how the price action was on the initial red to green, if I could have gotten good trades there and already been using size, because I mean, the share size makes such a huge difference when you connect with just 5,000 shares, 6,000 share blocks, you make a good 30 cent, 40 cent move, like a break of five. If I catch break of five and I make 30 cents, 8,000 shares, just like that, that's a $2,400 trade, right? I mean, it makes such a huge difference on the day. So it's hard to say where you could have been because there's so many variables and factors, but we like to think if we traded better from what we saw, for sure, we could have done, had some better results. So yeah, tomorrow again, I wrote down in my notebook here what I need to improve on. Tomorrow again, tomorrow again. So yeah, guys, take care. Just a quick recap here to go over some of the trades. I mean, it's still already 18 minutes. I still didn't go to the gym yet and have a ton of other stuff to do. Doesn't seem like there's enough time in a day. So hit that thumbs up. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Remember our disclaimer, right? Remember that day trading is risky business. A lot of people are having a hard time. Take it slow, take it easy. Remember to not copy trade. That's never any good. You got to learn the strategy. It takes months, more commonly years. Lastly, I do not invest in my subscribers, so be careful with fake accounts and imposters. I will never message you first randomly for no reason and start a conversation, okay? Stay safe, stay green. Tomorrow, bright and early at 9, 10 a.m.